Annyeong! Welcome to Dollightful, and welcome to a Sketch With Me episode! It felt like it hadn't been that long since I did one of these, and then I went back and checked my records, and the last one I uploaded was in 2021? Are you kidding me? I did count my Christmas Sketch With Me episode as an episode, but that was scripted, so up to you to decide if it really counts. So consider this a return to form. It's just you and me and my sketchbook and no script. I thought I'd take this opportunity to share with you some merch I'm designing. Might as well, I gotta draw it anyway. I'll just film myself drawing it and we can enjoy this together. I've got some ideas. I'd like to do a t-shirt with 4 of my characters on there, and I need 4 characters that look good together. So I thought, which of my 4 dolls do look good as a grouping? They need to be sort of the classic, delightful, sparkly, rainbow-tastic ones. So I looked at my doll shelf and ended up picking out these 4. I thought they make a good grouping, so let's draw them. And I can't remember if I've shown you guys this before, but when I set up the camera to do these Sketch With Me videos, it's just this, it's horrible. Like, it looks like this. I use rope to lash the darn thing to the table so that the tripod doesn't fall over with the camera, but I can get the camera mostly overhead. I should probably just invest in one of those fancy pants cameras that have the boom arm attached to them or whatever. But I'm a cheapskate, so I never do that. I put the dolls right in front of me when I draw because even though I designed all these characters, I can't remember what they look like. I have a terrible memory. And it helps to, refresh myself on the details if I just have the doll in front of me. So I've got them lined up while I draw. I thought I'd start with Jade. And total disclaimer here, I wasn't really in the mood to draw that day. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And it's really rare for me to not be in a drawing mood. I love drawing all the time, and this is one of those rare moments where I'm at the studio and, I don't have to be a mom, I can just be delightful for a little bit, and I actually have time to draw, so it was a big bummer that I wasn't in the mood that day. And I think it shows, especially in this first sketch. You can tell by the end of the sketches I'm warmed up by the 4th character, but with Jade, it's not my best work. But to all the other artists out there that are having a bad art day and push through anyway, good on you. Her head ended up kind of funny, and the pose isn't very good, and her body looks too small, but we'll fix it in Photoshop later. If all else fails, just rely heavily on Photoshop. That's terrible advice. Okay, next character. This is Tokki, my Sailor Moon-inspired doll, with her huge hair and her schoolgirl uniform and her roller skates. I don't think Sailor Moon had roller skates, but the vibe is similar. I really love gigantic hair-on dolls. It's really fun to work with. I think given free reign, all of my dolls would have floor-length hair. But variety is the spice of life, so I do try to mix it up with straight hair, short haircuts, all different kinds of hair. And that's fun too. But in my heart of hearts, I really love long hair. It's got such a great silhouette and adds a lot of movement and dynamic quality to a character. You'll notice on the dolls where I do give them shorter haircuts, I try to make up for it with some sort of dynamic outfit elephant. I try to make up for it with some sort of dynamic outfit element, like big ribbons that have a lot of movement to them. You can do stuff with the outfit that gives you the same amount of movement and silhouette. As we've been chatting, I've been drawing characters, and you've noticed I've only been doing pencil sketches, pretty rough pencil sketches. Not great pencil sketches like I mentioned at the top of the video. I don't think this is my best work, but I'm gonna share it with you anyway, right? So the plan here is to get some sketches down, and then we'll go back with pen and ink and refine them a bit. I think Macaroon turned out okay. The pose was pretty cute, but I couldn't quite get the hand in the right place. Another thing we'll have to fix in Photoshop later, I guess. But my last sketch, which is Cupcake, turned out really nice. I think I was finally warmed up by then. Took me long enough. And the pose was cute. The hair turned out good, just the right amount of swoosh. And the pose looked balanced. Whereas compared to Jade, the first character I drew, I thought her pose looked really unbalanced, like she was about to fall over. Okay, so now let's go back and refine things with pen and ink, and I'm hoping I can just wing it, on top of my pretty bad pencil sketch. I'm hoping I can bring out the details and tighten things up this time around. Although I think Jade's, the pose I was going for, right? Where you artfully put your hand close to your face, you know, tee-hee, that sort of thing. But I think her hand is too close to her face, like she's poking herself in the face, so we're gonna have to move that hand back later. But otherwise, I think my lines came out pretty clean. I love how Jade has a lot of different textures. I think that's one reason I really love how her doll came out. She's got the fluffiness of the hoodie, different textures in her hairstyle, and she's got all these laces and hard elements like the plastic keychains and the bells, like the metal bell. So her character has a lot of different textures, and that always looks nice in a doll, I think. Hopefully I can get across all those textures in drawing form as well. Let's ink Tokki next. I think of all my ink drawings, Tokki's face came out the worst. It kind of gets a little crazy and funky looking. As soon as I drew it, I was like, oh, this looks a little funny. Like the eyes aren't quite aligned and the mouth is a bit wide, maybe? She looks a bit scary. I don't know what it is, but we'll fix it. I didn't think about this when I made the actual doll, but her hair is so big that it covers up the backpack. If you put her backpack behind her. It kind of fits in the space between her ponytails, so it shows up really well from a behind view, but you can't have the doll facing forward and see the backpack at the same time, in real life anyway. So at least in drawing format, we can sort of cheat and show the backpack and the ponytails at the same time. I think the skirt came out pretty good on this one. Doing that sort of pleated skirt is hard in real life, and it's kind of hard to draw too, to be honest, but if you just do a zigzag pattern back and forth with your pen and then add lines, it makes it look 3D, which is sort of a hack I do all the time when I draw ruffles. Erase the pencil, and yeah, not bad, except for the freaky face. Macaroon's next. I'm not sure if I've ever talked about this, but when I made this doll, I called her Macaroon, thinking of course, the cute, colorful little pastries you can get at like a bakery. And then after I posted the video, I found out that I was actually thinking of macarons, and macaroon is a different kind of pastry. And then I was like, oh no, like I call her Macaroon in the video, but should I fix it? So like I changed the title to Macaron so that people wouldn't be upset with me over my ignorance of baked goods. So like now the title of the video is Macaron, but I still call her Macaroon, so I don't know. Is that forgivable? I think Macaroon is cuter to say, even though that's the wrong one. I try to be pretty good at fact checking and like double checking stuff like that before I post a video or while I'm making the doll. You know, I try to get everything right, but I'm gonna slip up eventually, aren't I? And it happened with Macaroon/Macaron. Alright, and lastly we have to ink Cupcake. The hand was pretty bad, so I actually did get a reference photo and drew a slightly better hand to, you know, tuck her hair behind her ear like that. Because it was really derpy before. I think of all the drawings, she came out the best. Maybe it's because she's the last one I did and I was finally warmed up by then. But I think her eyes are looking the same direction, and you know, usually when I'm drawing a character at a 3/4 angle, one of the eyes will be higher up than it's supposed to be. I don't know who else has that problem, but usually one eye is floating too high and I'll have to like nudge it back down or redraw it, you know. But Cupcake turned out alright, and the sprinkles, the icing, all the ruffles and lace, she's just a classic Dollightful doll. So those are the 4 sketches. In real time, it took me 1 hour and 30 minutes to do this, which, you know, every artist has their own pace, everyone's different. I tend to be a pretty quick artist, so this was very slow for me, and I knew it would be because I really wasn't in the zone and I wasn't feeling it. So I'm not surprised it took me so long. But the next day, I took these drawings and I put them in Photoshop and I was totally in the zone. I was feeling a good art day, I had it in me, and I wasn't actually drawing them this time, but I took them into Photoshop and liquefied things, so like people's head sizes didn't match, so thank goodness the liquefy tool exists to sort of nudge proportions around and tweak things. And I also went ahead and sketched with my tablet to sort of bring out details and hone the design, and especially with the hair, bring out some more details in the hair and make it look prettier. And of course I saved Tokki's face, which kind of looked scary in the ink stage. So here's the before and the after. Before Photoshop, after Photoshop of the ink drawings. I think I improved them a lot. They needed some help. And I'm really happy with this set of 4. I do plan on coloring them, but that'll have to be for another day. I hope you look forward to what I eventually use these for, which is going to be on a t-shirt someday, I hope. There's so much stuff I want to do in so little time, you know, but I'd really love to get some new merch out. So please look forward to that. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sketch With Me episode. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully I didn't ramble too incoherently this time. I know some of you like the non-scripted approach, so I'm trying to get more natural with it. Like and subscribe and all that YouTuber stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Stay artsy! Annyeong!